Hey Ravi, this is John with Get on the Track. Just wanted to review the data that we captured from yesterday's session on Sunday in your GT4. Again, just want to reiterate how much fun I had with you and how much you improved during the day. The data shows really clearly that you made some massive gains, and that's actually what I have in front of you here right now. So the data fields that we're taking a look at right now are the lateral acceleration, which is how hard you are cornering and how much grip you're generating in the car, as well as the speeds that you're achieving in the car. And we've got a nice track map here in the bottom left-hand corner that will show you where we are on the track when we are seeing these figures. I'm going to go ahead and expand this a little bit and then walk you through a little more of the detail on what I'm showing here in the data and in these graphs. Okay, so we've got our this is our track map again. Let me get that into view a little bit better. There we go. So we have our front straight here, turn one, which is that sweeper, and then turn two and three, which is a right-hander onto the side straight where we go up the hill into turn four, come around the bend and drop over that hill, start coming down the hill where we make that left-hander into turn five. Turn six is that fast sweeper that we make on the right-hander. We slow down hard for turn seven, make that turn, and then we have turn eight, which is the dam turn where we're coming around and looking through those trees for the track out point, which rolls into turn nine, which is that fast right-hand sweeper, and that leads into turn 10, that tight right-hander going uphill where we can really get the throttle on, and then finally exit into turn 11 and out onto the front straight again. So that gives you a quick idea of where we are on the track. And then what I've done here is I've compared your first session in the morning, which your best time was a 158.983, and then your last session of the day, which was your fastest session, that was a 133.569. And we'll take a look at the data here and we'll see how and why you made those gains. And they're pretty evident and pretty easy to see. So again, we have our lateral acceleration here. We've got our GPS speed here. And within here, we have our time comparison. We have our time comparison, which shows the difference in time over the course of the lap and how you made those gains or where you made those gains. So the interesting part is this is a nice, solid, almost constant slope going down, which means you pretty much made improvements everywhere on your lap time. Everything was an improvement. So really, really cool. All right. So what we have here is we've got coming out onto the front straight, we can see you're carrying a ton more speed, 91 miles an hour versus 71 miles an hour in that first lap. I'm not going to do too much detail here, but I will where I will go into detail is going between your best time and the second baseline lap that I set, so we can get an idea of what's happening there. But for right now, consistently you're carrying more speed throughout the course, right? So you're carrying very good speed coming into turn one. I'm going to show you turn one. You still can carry some more speed through there. Right here, we're seeing a speed of 65 miles an hour. And if you take a look at the lateral G's that you're pulling, we see them, they're at, and again, I'm looking at your fast lap, we're seeing 0.4, 0.5, 0.6. And so it maxes out right at around 0.63, which we can see in this upper right-hand corner. Your car is definitely capable of more than that. And we're going to start taking a look at that and exploring that in future sessions. Your speed comes up when we went to the throttle a little bit here. So you're able to gain a few miles an hour as we come into turn two, just before we brake to set up for turn two. So that's good. I like seeing a nice throttle application there. I think we had a couple of conversations there where out on the track where I mentioned that I wanted you to go to the throttle there. So really good on that. I'm happy to see that happening, and happy to see you carrying some throttle into that. We then roll into section 2 and 3, and we can see how the speed is going through there. Where it looks like 62 miles an hour is kind of the entry, and we're bottoming out at around 56 miles an hour. And that's right around that apex there, right? And then we start seeing you apply the throttle. We're carrying a really good load here. You are carrying a really good load here. If you take a look here, on your slow lap, we were seeing maybe 0.6 Gs, and instead we're now seeing over 1 G, which is what we love to see out of that car because it's capable of that. But that shows me you're really finding some great confidence in that car and learning to hit the limits on that car. So really, really cool there. Great job there. And then we're seeing as we come down the that side straightaway, we're seeing your speed increasing. Again, you're finding a lot of confidence on that throttle. We're seeing you max out at around 103 miles an hour on that side straight. Speed starts to drop coming up the hill. One thing is the slope of this gives us a good idea of how hard you're braking, and you're carrying pretty good brake pressure into here. We'll take a look at my data and do a comparison there. But one thing to bear in mind, right, is when you see these large gaps between the two lines, it means that you're carrying significantly more speed and getting significantly more lap time or better times out of this. If you take a look, right, you've already shaved off 5 seconds before we even roll into turn 4. So again, just massive gains, and I really wanted to call that out as you're going along here. Coming into here, we see those G's spike up. We're seeing 1.2 G's coming through this corner. And I want to call out like this little dip here on your cornering as you come past the apex here. So here, I think you're giving up a little bit of speed, and your cornering speed coming through turn 4 is a little low. We'll do a comparison between my lap and take a look at that. But then here, right, as you're coming on that straightaway, again, finding a lot of confidence, seeing 85. It's actually even higher than that. So 88 miles an hour before we enter turn 6, seeing a little bit of backing off on turn 6. As we continue to work together, we're going to definitely see some gains in here. We're going to see you carry more speed through turn 6 and really gain some time there. Again, we see you bleeding speed into turn 7, carrying more speed into 7, and we're seeing higher Gs through there. So 0.94, 1.0, and then it really started to you really started to separate in there with the speed and with the G's as you came around and exited that corner, looking really good there. And then we're seeing you come into turn 8. I think you're sacrificing a bit more speed than you need to here. We'll take a look at that, but we are seeing, going back to it, right, we're seeing 0.78 on the G's, which is a lot better than that 0.34 from earlier. And definitely just seeing that car go faster, getting more comfortable, more confident in that car and seeing some good speed. 86, 87 miles an hour here as we go through turn 9. We're seeing that car start to move, start to really gain some speed. 87. Yeah, that's great to see. I still want to start seeing you carry a little bit more confidence through there, and we'll see that in my lap. But again, just looking at the difference between these two curves, I hope this really gives you a good visual illustration of how much time you really cut down on your lap times. So we're seeing, I mean, literally right there's our number. You cut 25 seconds off your best lap time from that first session. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee we're going to do that again, but that's a massive improvement and really good to see on that first day. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and remove your first lap time, and we're going to pop in, and I'm going to grab my lap time from previous. So this was the other baseline that I set, which was that 133.62. And this should provide us some good comparisons here. Oh, once that comes up, apologize for that. Me. Laps. Hang on. I've done this before, but unfortunately my mouse isn't working. All right, so we got our 133.62. Cool. All right. So this, I think, is going to provide an interesting comparison. One of the things I just want to call out is that I was not pushing as hard on your car as I could. Obviously, I prefer to respect your car and your basically I just want to respect your car as we're driving it. So my goal here was to run a lap that was a good target for you, which is why I was targeting a 135. I ended up running a 133, but you were able to match it. So if we take a look, yours is the 133.569. So I highlighted that in blue, whereas my lap time was the 133.612. So very little separation between these two lap times. Again, I'm gonna call it out. Like, you did a really good job here with following my guidance and gaining ground. So again, you have the blue. You've got the blue lap, and mine is the red. So we have you coming in with a little bit more speed on into turn one. So if you'll see that, you come in at 84 miles an hour, or I'm sorry, you come in at 91 miles an hour, whereas I'm coming in at 84. I definitely can carry more speed here, and I give up time to you in that section, and that's where we see that red line go above. But then what I want to call out is, as we enter turn one, I'm definitely carrying more speed than you. I'm carrying 7 miles an hour more than you. And that's because you're going to the brakes a little too heavily before turn one. That's where I was trying to encourage you to do a little bit more of a brush on that brake pedal versus a harder push. And what we can see through here is I'm still not carrying a heck of a lot more G forces in there. I'm carrying but like 0.63, whereas you're at 0.55. You can definitely carry some more. More speed through there. So, and let me double check here. I see 0.60 on mine, and you've got 0.45. So if you can see here, that's my speed coming through here. One noticeable difference here is that I am bleeding off more speed and braking a little harder than you are for turn two. And then my speed under here is a little bit lower too. So you were able to actually carry more speed here, which is good. Again, as I start to do some more baselines, I'm going to run a little bit faster, a little bit harder, and get more G's generated through or in the car through turn one. There's definitely a lot of time to be found. As I said, we'd love to see something closer to that 1G mark from your car versus the 0.60 or 0.54 that we were seeing. That in those lateral G numbers reflect a significant increase in speed if we go up to that 1G range. So just worth calling out. Here, as we accelerate out of turn three, I'm also going to call out, you are getting really confident on the gas here, which is great to see. I'm seeing a hard application of the throttle. I already called it out. I think we were seeing 104 miles an hour from you. Again, I was kind of soft pedaling because I didn't need to set an extremely fast lap time. So you gained a fair amount of time here by carrying more speed, being more confident on that front straightaway. When we do some more baselines, I'll be carrying more speed as well. But just to put it out there, that's really good to see. You're getting confident with the car. And then what you see here is you see our braking pretty much matched. And then I brake a little bit longer and harder than you do initially, but then I carry more this curve here where you're bottoming out lower than I do as you come through turn four. I'm carrying more speed, and you don't see the drop in the G's that in my lap that we did with yours. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit and just kind of show, just by carrying that little bit more speed, I'm keeping the G's consistent, keeping that cornering force consistent, right? And so that allows me to carry a little bit more speed than you. However, I will call out as well, you managed to achieve more grip here out of the car than I did, and that you were able to pull 1.23 Gs versus that 1.12. That's a pretty significant increase. So very, very nicely done there. Again, your performance was really impressive. You did a great job there. Coming down the hill here, you're actually carrying more speed than me again, 59 versus 57 miles an hour. That's coming into turn 5, which is at the bottom of that hill. Really solid performance there. Just looking fantastic. And then we'll take a look here and go to a little bit further on. So then we see, I'm going to continue to call this out. So if you see I'm the red lap, you're the blue lap, you can see that I'm carrying a little bit more throttle as I come through turn 6, and carrying a little bit more speed. So that's one of the things that we're seeing there. And that's why you see my speed a little bit higher, and we're likely going to see my G's a little bit higher as well. So your initial, we're seeing 0.47. There's not really a massive, well, yeah, there's a pretty good gap there as we come through. I get a peak out there of 0.94, 1 point, wow. So that was likely on a bump. I got, you see me peak out at about 1.34. There was likely a bump driving that. But if you look through there, I'm carrying 3 miles an hour more than you, which is definitely a pretty significant difference. And I want you to take a look here at the differences here with the change in terms of the difference in time. So that gives us a good idea of where you made time up over me and where I made time up against you. So you made a significant amount of time going along that front straight. You see it all the way through here. And then at turn 4, I gain a little bit back. And then you start gaining some more coming through turn 5. So that's a very good section for you. So basically coming off that side straight and getting into turn 4, you make up a lot of time. As soon as we hit turn 7, though, you can see that that time gap, I give up a little bit of you, a little bit to you mid corner, and you can actually see that right here reflected in the speed. So I came into a little bit slower into the corner, but then after that, I start separating, and you can see that I carry more speed going on to going into turn 8, and then going through the mid corner speed in turn 8. I'm carrying a nice little gap here from you as well, 66 miles an hour. So I carry more speed through there. And then going into turn 9, where I'm trying to get you to be more confident on the throttle, we see a big separation here, right? So that's 6 miles an hour for difference in speed, and I'm carrying pretty good speed through there. So I make up a heck of a lot of time on you in there. And then coming down to turn 10, I brake a little bit harder than you did. So you did a very good job coming through 10, carried good speed through there. And we felt that. I felt like you were doing really well through turn 10. And then we come back here, and then I want to call this out too. So turn 9, right? High speed sweeper. I'm carrying more speed than you. Coming through turn 6, again, high speed sweeper. We had a nice gap there, which is me carrying more speed than you. And then finally, coming onto that front straightaway, as we're coming past turn 11, you see me carrying some good speed versus you as well. And that's what that is I'm just being more confident on the throttle as I come through that corner. Again, these are things that we can work on in our next session. I don't want you to get the impression at all that anything that you did that was lacking. You killed it out there. We made significant gains in seeing that 133 out of you. As I said, my target for us was a 135 that day, and you managed to get a 135, 133. That's massive. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast, and I really I hope that you enjoyed it as well. And we'll definitely we can definitely make improvements, but it's been really fun, and you did an awesome job out there. I'm going to post your videos up onto YouTube, so we'll get those up, and you can take a look at those, and I'll have the I should have all the sessions up for you. So that I'll get those up today, and let me know if you have any questions, please. And I'm also going to send you a YouTube video talking about slip angles, as I know you had that question and I didn't get a chance to answer that for you.